So the first thing we would do obviously is take off the lid. I'll just place this over here out of the way. As I said, I've already got some in here that have already got solution mixed through them. I'll just duck that one in there as well. We take the first one we want out, we wring it out so it's not dripping, like so, and then we just put it on the floor. I'll just move this bucket out of the way a little bit. Now whenever we mop, we put that on the floor, and then there's Velcro, as you can probably see on the bottom there, that just attaches to the microfiber mop itself. So once you've got that lined up, that's your mop ready to go. Right, so the first thing we mop is always underneath things like tables and things that are going to be in the way. And then we mop the floor around them, especially with dining room tables. When I mop underneath that table, put the chairs down, and then that is ready to be go for when the owner comes home. Then we can do the other parts of the floor. So you can see with the microfiber mop, it's actually a lot easier because of the way it's built. You can get around corners, you can get around poles, legs, furniture a lot easier. And with the swivel on this mop, you can actually reach a fair way under things like tables. So it's going to help you do a better mop. All right. So let's do the table. Then we'll put the chairs down. All right, so when you finished a section with the mops, so you can see now, well, you might not be able to see, that's just a little bit dirtier than it was before. We could probably do more floor with this. It's not that dirty, but we simply just peel it off, put it into a pile to be taken to be washed later on, get a fresh one out, and then we'll do the rest of the floor. But before I do that, I'll put these chairs down. Now obviously when you're putting chairs down on the floor that you've mopped, just place it, don't push it around because it's more likely to scuff the floor or make it look a little bit dirtier. So that's just something to keep in mind. Get another one of these out. Being careful to let it to drip back into the bucket, not onto the floor, which is especially important with floors like this. Too much water on these types of floors actually will damage it and make them bow and swell, and we don't want to do that. So if you do spill any excess water, this is an important point, quickly mop up that excess as quickly as you can so it doesn't sit on the floor. All right. Now, as I mentioned, the other advantage of this, it just gets into places that normal old-fashioned mops don't. So if you can imagine there was a piece of furniture here and there's just a small gap, you can literally push this like this, and so it will fit in a lot of places that the old-fashioned mop won't. The other advantage is you can actually fold this over. There's Velcro on the top, and so if there's a pop, something that needs a bit of work in the corner, you can actually get into it like that, and you can do the same on the other side obviously, but often just pushing it into the corner like that will get along the skirting boards and things like that and do a much better job. All right. So you probably can't see it, but what I was explaining here, if I hold this out of the way, that's what I'm talking about. You can get right up under there, whereas the old-fashioned mop's just not going into that space. All right. Always be careful to mop towards the exit, so you don't mop yourself into a corner that you can't walk on until the floor's dry. Now, you probably can't see it on the video very well, but the other advantage to the microfiber mop over the conventional cotton mop is it's just a lot less water on the floor. It'll dry quicker, it'll dry streak free, it's not going to pool, you're not going to have any spots, etc. It's just going to be a much better finish. All right. I'll just move the bucket to the door. Like I've said, don't ever mop yourself into a corner, then you won't be able to get out. Now, as far as how much floor you mop with these before you go into the next section or get a new microfiber, there's two things to keep in mind. First one, at some point, it's going to get too dry and you're not going to have enough water in the pad to actually be as effective. Or if the floor is really dirty, which this one isn't, this gets too dirty. At some point, you're just going to be streaking dirt back on the floor. You're not actually mopping anything. In this case, it's more when the pad itself is getting too dry. As I said, this floor is not dirty, so it's not really a problem for that. And that is how we mop a floor.